Hello, everybody. It's Steven here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. It's episode number 244 for December the 5th, 2023, 20 days before Christmas. Yeah. Okay. Enough said about that. Christmas humbug. Okay, so let's jump right into current projects. So I finished this up last week. Some of you have already seen it. This is the Spicy Spiral table runner. It's the one that took the special 9-degree wedge ruler, and I talked about that on the Idiot Quilter last week. And it wasn't really a bitch of a thing to make, quite frankly. It was awkward to make. The instructions I got with the kit were a little bit confusing. Luckily, one of my subscribers put me onto a video where there were two ladies in a quilt shop in a Canadian quilt store out east who put this together. They were a little confusing too, but I got the general idea from that, and it was a good thing I watched it, because this ruler is so long. It's like 24 inches long, and trying to cut these wedge pieces that you make, strip sets, and then you have to cut them, and you have to cut them on these angles to get this effect, is very, very awkward, to the point where if you're not careful, you could cut yourself with your rotary cutter. It's a little scary, actually. But anyways, I managed to get it, and at one point when I was putting it together, I was thinking, I don't think this is going to work. But it did. It did work. I'm fairly pleased with the outcome. I could have done a better job at rounding when I was trimming it, rounding it at one end. You can see it's a little kind of squarish. But if you don't point that out to somebody, they're probably not going to really notice it when you have it on a table. Excuse me. So yeah, would I make another one? No, I do not think so. Yeah. It was more or less what attracted me was the fact that it was a kit, and it was something a little different. So yeah, I don't think I'll make another one. So I have this ruler now. However, there are other things you can make with the ruler, all around, a roundish kind of a thing. I don't know. I might, at some point in time, if I want to make something unique, I might get out that ruler and get out the instructions and see what I can do. I don't know. Anyways, it's done. As far as quilting is concerned, I debated whether I should throw this on Lucy. I had thought it would look spectacular with sort of a feather design that curves, and I do think I have something like that on my Lucy. I know there are ones available that I could buy, but it would be a bit of a custom setup, and I have not done very little at all, actually, with custom settings on the Quilt Path, the computerized program. Yeah, I wish I was really good at freehand motion and just get on there with Lucy and just go to town on feathers, because I think this could look very spectacular with a curved feather effect. But no, I was not going to screw around with that at this point in time. I really need to screw around, though, with doing custom with the Quilt Path a little bit more. So maybe that's a thing for the new year. You know how we put things off until the new year? Great plans, never get to them. But no, I should really start exploring that dimension. I think I've got edge-to-edge designs and the things that go along with that in setting them up in the Quilt Path down now. I'm very comfortable with those. So now it's time to reach outside of the comfort zone and learn something new. But anyways, this was not the project for that. So what I did was I just did Stitch in the Ditch. I used Invisifil thread, and that worked out okay with it. And I just did it on the domestic machine. So that one sits in my pile of possible giveaways someday to somebody. Now, story about this. So I went down the rabbit hole on the weekend. Designs by Juju had a sale, and they had this wall hanging. It's an In the Hoop applique project. They had it on sale, 50% off. So it was $10 American. I thought it was kind of cute. And I had this idea that I would create this and give it as a gift to the next door neighbors when we have them over for cocktails and charcuterie. And, they've been told not to bring us anything. this year, but you know what people are like. You invite them over and they bring you a hostess gift or something. Well, I am not going to be caught unprepared. We will have a bag with a bottle of wine in it and maybe some chocolates and, you know, maybe some of my little embroidered gnomes. And this. Well, that was my original plan. So you see it here in pieces before it's sewn together. That all turned out okay. And then I sewed it together. Not happy. Not happy with this at all. Okay, there are so many things going wrong here. And I tried to fix them, adjust them, and I just couldn't. And I don't know if it was the fault of me or it was the fault of the file that I used. I don't know. But if you take a look at these edges, especially look up here, this is a mess. These are supposed to line up. The blue lines of satin stitching right here are supposed to line up and be nicely square. Well, none of them do. None of them do. And that one's really bad. And then it's out of shape. That's me. That's my fault. I don't know what I was thinking. I was doing, I was putting the backing on it and doing the pillowcase fold or whatever they call it, you know, where you just turn it in inside out, sew it around, and then turn it back the right way out. Yeah, that all went wonky. These pieces, for some reason, are wonky. Now, I'm thinking that they may be wonky because I used a tearaway stabilizer in this, and stabilizer is essentially still in this. It's been trimmed back, but it's still there. That may have made things go a little wonky when I was sewing it together. I probably should have used no-show mesh instead, although the instructions in it said to use tearaway stabilizer, I think. Or did it just say use stabilizer? Well, whatever. And then I did a really stupid thing beyond the other stupid things you see here, and that is it's supposed to have a couple of tabs up at the top so you can hang it on a wall like over a curtain rod or a piece of doweling or something like that. I don't usually put those in on wall hangings. However, because this was going to be a gift, I didn't know how they would hang it up, if they would hang it up, so I put in the tabs. Well, of course, when you're doing the pillowcase fold kind of a technique, right, your tabs have to go inside the layers. First of all, when you turn it inside out, you turn it out and you turn out the tabs. Because I don't do them that often, I kind of forgot to do that. So there are tabs on this. They're inside. And by the time I remembered that and realized it, I'd already did the top stitching all the way around the outside. And I just figured, no, I'm not going to pull the stitching out to pull those out and reseal it up, resew it up in the whole bit. Also because I don't like it. I do not like it. So this is not going to be a gift. I didn't throw it out. It's hanging on one of my cabinet doors here in my sewing room as a reminder to myself. And I don't know what it's reminding me of, because actually not all of it is my fault. I don't think. I mean, I've done these kind of things before, and matching them up, there is a trick to it, and I used my tricks. It just, I don't know. It just didn't work. So, yeah, chalk that one up to experience. That's 2 days of my life that I'll never get back again. So what will I do instead? Well, by the time you've seen this, the first 5 days of the Missouri Star Quilt Company unboxing that Stephanie and I were doing has gone up. And I'm not sure if it was in the first set or not, but there is a project. I think it's later on, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but there is a project in there that I kind of like, and I think if I can get it done before we have the neighbors over, then I think I might put that in the bag for them, because I don't think I'm going to have any problem with it. But then, you know, I am an idiot, so famous last words. We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, so moving on then. Let's talk about what's happening, what's next, what's new. Sewing with Stephanie and Steven occurs this Wednesday, which at the time of recording this is tomorrow, December the 10th, 2023. And we open the doors into our sewing rooms at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So the link for that's in the show notes. We had a men's sew day, and I was thinking like there was only, at the height of it, there were 6 of us. Okay, it's quantity. No, it's quality, not quantity. Um, but it sort of suggests to me, well, maybe I have more than that on my mailing list. I don't have a lot, okay? It's not like a pop-up sew day, that kind of thing. But you know, these things start out small. Pop-up sew days started out very small, and well, they've grown over time to the point now that we usually average around 35, 36 people, maybe more, depending. Um, so, you know, I can't expect that with the men's sewing. It's a much more um, smaller group to start with. It's a smaller pool to, you know, drop your line in to. So, yeah, I was thinking, well, should I go on with these or just, you know, I can invite the men to join us on pop-up sew days if they so wish, put them on the mailing list, and, you know, because it is another day out of my month that basically I'm dedicating to doing a sew day. Um, but I enjoy them. You know, I do. I'm not complaining about doing these at all. I love doing them. Okay, I have a lot of fun at them, and it's great to be with other people and so and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought about it, but the guys that were there seemed to be enjoying themselves and having a good time. So I said to Walter, "Do you think I should just forget about it?" And he says, "No, it was a good time." So I am not going to cancel them. Excuse me. There will be another one. They're going. I have them slated right now for the first Sunday of every month. So the first Sunday of the next month of January occurs um, just after we get home from Stephanie's retreat. Shouldn't be a problem because we leave Stephanie's retreat on June the 1st, and we will probably be home by June the 3rd. So yeah, shouldn't be a problem at all. And I think that first Sunday in the month is, let me think, if the first, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, is it 7th? Something like that. Anyways, I'll be sending out an email to the men for that. And if any men are watching this and don't know anything about the Men's Sewing Day, I've already explained it. Send me an email. My email address is in the show notes, or how to get to the email address is in the show notes, and I'll be happy to put you on the mailing list. So all male sewers are welcome. Okay, what else? Okay, this Saturday, however, we are having a pop-up sew day. You've already gotten the email with the link in it if you're on my mailing list. If you're not on the mailing list, the link is in the show notes below. If you want to be on the mailing list, send me your information, meaning your name, first and last, please, and your email address, and I will be happy to put you on the mailing list. That starts at 8 a.m., but it's come and go, so whenever you want to come, whenever you want to go. Now, I debated whether I should have one in December, because, I mean, December's busy, right? So, but I didn't want to leave it until January. And, you know, I usually run one. Sometimes I run two in a month. Depends on what I'm doing. If I'm bored or if I have nothing really planned on a Saturday, I'll often put up a pop-up sew day then. So anyways, the next one is this coming Saturday, December the 9th, as I said. And I'm not expecting a huge turnout for this because I know people are busy. But I wouldn't have been able to do it any other time this month. And I just didn't want to have such a, you know, a long time between the last one and the next one. So yeah, this Saturday, December 9th. All right, what else? Well, today, our first video went live for the MSQC Christmas box unboxing with Stephanie. I know some of you will have already seen the items that we are showing on the video today. We've done them in groupings of 5. There'll be a new video up every 5th day. So today is day 1 to 5 on December 5th, then 6 to 10 on December 10th, and then 16 or 11 to 16, 11 to 15, sorry, on December 15th, etc. Okay, I think you get the idea. Why are we doing that way? Because we have done all the recording of all the days. So we now know what's in the box. However, and you probably do too if you've watched other people's unboxings because everybody's doing the Missouri Star quilt box. What makes our videos a little different? Well, Stephanie and me doing it. That's one thing that makes it different. Two, you're getting our honest reactions as soon as we open up the gifts, and we're comparing reactions. You know, some things I like better than Stephanie does, and we talk about that. We talk about why we really got excited and why we didn't get so excited on some of the items. So that's all there for you. Watch it every 5th day. And the last one, the grand finale, where we open the last 5 gifts, is actually on Christmas Day. I won't be here on Christmas Day. I will be on the road to Windsor, which is the first leg of our journey to Georgia for Stephanie's retreat. Yeah. Now, somebody asked me, am I going to do videos and things from the retreat? Yep, for sure. I don't know what those will look like. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to depend on a lot of things like my connection. And also, I'm going down there to sew and have a good time. So, you know, there might be a bit of a lag, but there will be videos in one form or another at some point in time. If not right during the retreat, when I get home. Okay. So, what else do I have to show you? Oh, yeah. Okay, my 3D printer, I'm making something. I saw this idea online. It comes in various forms, and this is what I'm talking about, this lump. And what this is a holder for your patterns when you're working on the patterns. You know, I don't know about you, but I get my pattern all laid out on my cutting table, and then I get fabric piled up all over it, and then I go looking for it and I can't find it. And there has been the odd time when I'm an idiot. I have kind of cut through my pattern because it was sitting underneath my fabric when I was, you know, cutting strips or something, and kind of cut my pattern up as well. So this is a handy little device, and I'll show you how it works. So, you know, patterns come folded in half usually, so you can put them in this way. But if they're printed in landscape mode, like this one is, that's not a problem. You can turn it up this way into portrait mode, and it'll hold it as well. I think this is a clever little device. So I found a 3D file where I could print this out. And I've printed out one for everybody going to the Georgia retreat. It's going to be part of my little gift bag that I'm giving everybody. They're a little rough in the way that the printer made them. You know, they're not highly polished item. And when you do 3D printing, unless you spend a lot of time adjusting settings and using specialized filaments and things like that, things do look like they're home 3D printed. And this is one of those things, but it serves the purpose. So I didn't make it for beauty. I made it for practicality. Let's put it that way. So yeah, they were kind of fun to do, and they're weighted as well. And I hope they hold together because I had to make separate bottom pieces, and then I filled them with fish tank gravel, clean stuff. Okay, I don't have a fish tank, so it's not stuff that the fish have already been, you know, sucking on or doing other things in there, which gives it just enough weight that it's, you know, easy to pick up and that kind of thing, but it holds, you know, what it's supposed to hold with no problem. So yeah, a little gimmicky little device, but it serves a purpose. Okay, now we're talking about opening Christmas boxes like Missouri Star. I only get the Missouri Star quilt, and the other one I get is from Kawartha Quilting, a local quilt shop to me. I got theirs last year, if you remember, if you saw the videos when I opened it. It's set up a little differently. It isn't an item every day. It's just a big sack of things. Now, I think each of the things in the sack are individually wrapped, of course, to keep you in suspense. And I'm excited about getting this one open because I really enjoyed the Santa sack that Kawartha Quilting had last year. And I suspect that this year will be just as good, if not better. But I haven't opened it yet. I haven't peeked or anything. Because they asked me at Kawartha Quilting when I picked it up last Friday, they said, "Are you going to do this on your channel?" And I said, "Of course I'm going to do it on my channel." And they said, "Can you wait a couple of weeks? Because we kind of want the other people that have ordered them to get theirs before, you know, you start revealing what's in it. And I said, okay, I can do that. So Walter and I are going to open this on So Chatty. Not this week coming, the So Chatty, which would be, what's today's date's the 5th, so 6, 7, 8. It won't be this Friday the 8th. It'll be December the 15th. The Friday, December the 15th. That's when we'll be opening it up and reacting to the items that are in here. Now, there's not as many. I think last year there was about 14 or 15 items, whereas the Missouri Star Quilt has 25, right? But of course, this is half the price of the Missouri Star Quilt box too. Well, actually, half the price if you take the price that I paid Canadian for the Missouri Star Quilt box, okay? Which was considerably more than what the Americans pay because of the exchange rate. Don't make me get into exchange rates. I have talked about that till I'm purple in the face and people are still not getting it. But anyways, back to this sack. Also, you notice, you can see here in the picture, there's a little embroidery on this. They do this at the shop, at Kawartha Quilting. They make these bags. So they put a lot of time and effort and thought into this, and that's why I'm excited about it. It's quality that we're getting here. So, yeah. So stay tuned for that when we open it up. Okay, so I have all my Christmas decorations up, as you know, because I put up a video about that. That was last week, So Chatty. And of course, a lot of my Christmas decorations involve things that I have made, both on my 3D printer and, of course, my quilts. So there's quilts and table runners and banners and things like that. So I've been quilting now 5 years, just over 5 years. I've acquired a lot of Christmas items to the point where I forget what I've got because I put them in a big bag, big zip-up bag, storage bag, and they go in the crawl space with the Christmas decorations. I'm not going to do that this year. They're not going in the crawl space. I don't think that's a good place to keep my quilts. However, as I said, I've been doing quilting for about 5 years, and when I first started in this, like anybody, you know, my first efforts were, okay, or not. So I got everything out, and I decided to sort through all of the quilts, because I don't have room to put everything up that is in there. And some of it I just don't want to put up because I think it's crap. So I decided to do a little trunk show of all of those items and make decisions while I was recording the trunk show as to whether or not these items were going to be put on display this year somewhere in the house. So that's what this video is all about. And now, this does run a bit long. I think this segment's about 20 minutes long, okay? If this is not your cup of tea or if I'm boring you to tears with it, feel free to fast forward by it to get on to the next stuff. Up to you with it. But you're actually going to see sort of my development as a quilter as well. And I do point out the things I don't like about some of these and why it didn't make the cut for putting it up. So I'm going to insert that little video segment in here right now. So I've started my Christmas decorating. Well, at this point it's not decorating, it's more organizing. Trying to decide what I'm going to do this year. I think I might do something that's sort of a semi-theme and do it on the various tables in my house, like the coffee tables, end tables, dining room table, that kind of thing. I don't have the same spaces I had last year because spaces where I used to put things, like over here where this grow light is, grow light has to stay there. So that spot is no longer available to me. And to be honest, I have a whole lot of stuff. That's just part of it. Here's the rest. That, you know, do I really need to put it out? Last year I weeded out a lot of my Christmas decorations and got rid of stuff that was old and, you know, just don't want it anymore kind of a thing. But one thing I want to sort out first are my Christmas quilts and wall hangings and table runners. All this table. Now, these were in the crawl space in a big bag, a zippered bag kind of thing. And I don't think I'm going to return them to the crawl space this year. I think I'm going to put them in those storage bags that I bought some time ago that you've seen on my previous videos for storing quilts.
or what I use for storing quilts. So I think I may do that. But now what I'm going to do is sort through these because I do not have enough space to put everything that's in this pile out. And to be honest, some of it was stuff I made in the early days of my quilting journey, and they're kind of crappy. So I'm going to sort through them, and as I sort through them, I've got my display rack set up here. I'm going to hang them on this and talk about each one and decide, is it a hanger or is it a berry? So here's the first three that are auditioning. Yeah, this one has gnomes. It's more of a wall hanging, or it could be a table topper. Was my own design, and you know, I did a lot of these embroidered gnomes on here, and I put some of them the opposite way because I was thinking if it went in the center of a table, you know, you'd see it from all sides. And it was probably made from scrap fabrics, I think I did, that were left over one Christmas. I think I made this one last year, not sure. Not really thrilled with the design of this. So I don't know, I think that's going to go in the, well, if there's space, pile. This one I like. It's embroidered as well, the Santa in the center and that kind of thing. So that one I'm going to see if I can find a place for. And similarly, this one. Now, some of these, when I made them, I used them as decorations for our front doors. But I don't think I'm going to put anything on the front doors this year except maybe a wreath because we've got those new doors and I really don't want to mark them up. And Walter would have my head if I did. So, yeah, this one and this one, I will definitely try to find a place for. This one, that's going in the, well, if I got a space pile. So here's the next two. Now, this one I made, I think, 2 years ago, and it's because I was into steampunk, and I found these embroidery designs that were Christmassy, but done in a steampunk kind of mode. And to be honest, I really don't like this table runner. Again, this was one that was made with scraps as well. It was more of an experiment than anything else. And yeah, that one I'm not going to put out. Now this one, I love this one. I think it turned out really nice, but is it Christmas? Yeah, there is Christmas fabric in this, sort of, in the blues. There's snowflakes and that kind of thing, but it doesn't scream Christmas, it screams winter. So this is one that I think also I am not going to put out, but I'm going to put this in my pile of table runners that are possible future gifts, that kind of thing. And that's where that'll go. So these two, not going to put up this Christmas. This group, I think, are all keepers. This is a table topper, and I can probably put that on one of my tables upstairs. It'll be fine there. It has an embroidered snowflake in the center. These are all a little bit wrinkly, so I'm going to have to maybe throw them in the dryer on steam setting and just get the wrinkles out. This one I really like. This one was done as a pattern, and I added again the embroidered bells to this as an extra feature, and I do like it, and it does scream Christmas. And this one was a kit, and in the blues, and again, this is another one that doesn't really necessarily scream Christmas, although it works, but it's more, I would call this winter. So what I might do with the ones that I'm saying are more winter than Christmas, if I don't put them up for Christmas, what I might do is when I take down the Christmas decorations, substitute out some of the table runners I've been using in the fall for these ones for the winter. Okay, what to do with these three? Well, let's start with this one. This one I made early in my quilting and embroidery journey, and you can see, it's kind of out of proportion, the borders on it, and I did do some in the hoop applique with it as well, but I don't think I want to put that one out. And this one, well, it is Christmas, but it's just a panel, and I stuck a couple of strips. Actually, did I stick any strips on this one? No, this whole thing is nothing but a panel. And all I did was I layered it and then did some free motion quilting on it. Yeah, not my best work. And this one's just plain ugly. And it's long, very long, very long, very long. What was I thinking? I have no idea what I was thinking with making something that long, but that's ugly too. So these three are going in the probably not pile. These three I really love. This one I love because it was all done. It's Dresden plates, and it was all done in the hoop, applique, and embroidery. And you have seen this design before because back a month or so ago when I showed you the one that I made for the friend of ours that was turning 60, I used that same file. The only difference is the fabric that's used in it, and I really love it. So it's definitely going out. This one I'm iffy about. I do not dislike it, but I'm not sure if I have a place this year for it. Might fit on an end table somewhere with some things on it. This one I love, and I did something on this that I had never done before, and that was prairie points. I am not a fan of prairie points, but I did do them, so there I have proven to you that I can do prairie points. And there's some embroidery on this as well. And this one turned out really nice, and it is my own design. It wasn't from a pattern book. Many of these table runners are my own design or a variation on somebody else's design as well. So all three of these are going in the maybe hang it or going into find a place for them pile. This one is not a table topper nor a table runner. This one is meant for the mantelpiece on our fireplace upstairs in the living room. And the whole idea of this is that wide strip at the top lays across the mantle, and then these hang down just above the fireplace itself. And this was a kit, and it turned out quite nice. And yeah, this one is going to be a keeper because I'll need something on the fireplace upstairs, so this will be the start of that one. Now, these two are very different techniques. This one is all done as an embroidery file. There isn't any applique in this. It is all embroidery thread, and it's all individual little tiles that you sew together. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 32 tiles in this, and I absolutely love it. It took a long time to make, but I think it was worth the effort, and that one is definitely going up. This one, okay, I loved the panel, and all I did with this was throw some borders on it and did some quilting. You can see here what I did for quilting, and of course that quilting was all done. This quilting was not done on Lucy, it was done on my embroidery machine. So it's little motifs that are equally spaced across it. Might account for why I don't have any quilting in the borders at all. It's cute, it's fun, but do I want to put it up? Because really it's just a panel. I don't know. I think this one is, I'll put it in the pile that says I want to put it up if I have a spot for it. And if not, then I won't bother. These next two, okay, for sure. This one's going up. And these ones that are larger wall hangings, I think I can get them along the hallway, down the halls, down the wall. Let me speak about this again. Where the wall is, it goes downstairs into my sewing room. Where I have some quilts there already, I'll swap them out for the Christmas ones. This was a panel that I made into an attic window, and that one I have always liked. I love that technique of the attic window. This one, I'm not sure. I think I was getting carried away with using my embroidery machine, so I did all these blocks with angels on them, and I used, looks like probably Christmas scraps to make square and a square kind of thing. Yeah, it's not doing it for me. That one's going into the not hanging up this year pile. Okay, right off the bat, these ones are not going up this year for a couple of reasons. This big one is a scrappy quilt, as you can see, and it doesn't really hang straight. It must have been one of the first ones that I ever made, and because it is not square. And yeah, it just looks bluck. And this one's just as ugly as sin. What was I thinking? I don't know why I did this. I guess I wanted to try using the decorative stitches on my sewing machine for this center strip, but I have no idea why I did that. Well, maybe I do. I see here that these don't really match up. That's why I probably did it, probably to disguise that. Again, one of my earlier efforts, definitely not going up. Okay, so this one's kind of a cross between a wall hanging and a large throw. It was a panel. I loved the panel. And again, as I always do, I threw a few borders on the panel, but I did do something interesting in the corners, or at least I thought it was interesting at the time, was I did these corner pieces on the embroidery machine. They're a combination of in the hoop, applique, and embroidery, and each one's a little different. And I think it was a bit tricky getting them to be the size that I needed for them in the corners. But overall, the quilt turned out not too bad. And the quilting on it is pretty open. I should have done that a little bit more densely, I think. It would have given the quilt more texture. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with this one. I think I'm going to put it in the pile for, if I have a place, I'll put it up. Now this one's a throw, and it is a scrappy throw. It's my own design. I love doing flying geese. I love flying geese, so that's why there's so many flying geese in this one. I think I started out by making each one of these 4 blocks, large blocks in the center, differently, but you can see I had some problems. I cut off my star points over there, but not that anyone would really notice that if it's draped over a piece of furniture, which is what it might do because I think it's colorful, it's very Christmassy, and I like it. Yes, there's imperfections in it, but I do like it. Now this quilt, I absolutely love. It was a pattern. I want to say it might have been a Chelsea Stratton pattern, but I'm not sure if it was or not. Probably wasn't, but I love it. It is a nice quilt, and this one deserves to be out. Now, where? I'm not sure. I do not have a wall space big enough to hang it up so you can see its full grandeur. So there may be a way that I can throw it over one of the chairs, well, a couch, and get most of the effect of it. I'm thinking maybe my love seat up in the family room. That might work. We'll see, but that one's a definite yes. This one, of course, you have seen this year because it's one of this year's projects. This was the Tom Tee, and I absolutely love it. I never got around to yet making the female version of this. This is the design by Tracy Perks, and I interviewed her. She's in the UK, and it's all made up of squares, the whole thing. A lot of squares to cut, but it goes together very fast once you have them all cut, and I love it. I think it's a gorgeous quilt. This one deserves to be on a wall, but I don't think I have a wall space to hang it on. We'll see, but it's definitely going out somewhere. This is the Regal Pines pattern from Chelsea Stratton, and she did it in her own fabric design. However, I decided I thought this was going to look great in Christmas fabrics, and it does. And I absolutely love this quilt. I think it is fantastic. Now I'm thinking I could put it on a bed in the guest bedroom. It might look good there. In fact, that just came to me that there's another possible decorating space. But I really, really like it. It's definitely going out somewhere. Okay, this is that's my own design, and don't know what possessed me. I think I had a lot of scrap fabric left over from another project, and I had some half square triangles or whatever, and I thought, well, maybe I should put them together and make them into something, and it just grew from there. I added the applique snowmen and Christmas presents to the bottom, and I put in stars and snowflakes over the top, and there's an angel there too. I don't like the angel. I made that a little boxy, I think, and my points don't all line up. The edges here, if you see, there's gaps, more gaps. It was something that I just decided to throw together. It was a palette cleanser, and it grew from there. I don't dislike it. It's kind of fun. It might look okay on a wall if I have a space. I'll see. This one I definitely have to put up this year because I made it this year, and this was the one that used that special ruler, and there's a lot of curves in it, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's called Posh Santa. Now, of course, Walter said I should have used a darker color in the background so his beard would show up, but I think his beard shows up pretty good. And I like my quilting that I did on it. I think it turned out really quite nice. So this one is definitely going up. Now this is the last one in the pile, and this is one I made very recently. It was a pattern I saw on, I think, Designs by Juju, and I really like it. It was an in the hoop applique, and it's just cute. And it turned out nice. It's small. It might be good to be draped over the back of a chair. Like I have a chair up in my family room that I could sort of hang from the back, and it would be seen. So this one I'm putting in the pile to display. So now that I've done the preliminary sorting, yes, preliminary sorting, I now have to figure out where I have spaces to put all those ones that are in the pile that I want to display. There may be a few in there yet that I'll think twice about and maybe not put on display. It's all going to depend on where I can find spots for them. So when I get them all hung up and that, I'll show you where they have gone. That'll be a video down the road.
So I hope you enjoyed watching me cut myself up about my quilting. Anyways, let's go on to somebody else's creation who it's, that is very, very nice. And this comes from Elsie Tarosi, and she has sent us things before, and here's another one of her beautiful creations. This week's quilt from a subscriber is actually a couple of Christmas projects, and neither one are quilts. One's a table runner, and one is what I call stuffies. So these come from Elsie Tarosi, and Elsie writes, wanted to share some of my makes for the holidays. No need to share with everyone. Haha, too late, I am. Just glad to share with you and Walter. It's been a tough year for me with caring for family. I know you understand, having same experience with your mom. It's a long goodbye and tough on our emotions. Sewing keeps me steady, whether it's a simple project or a more complicated one. So let's take a look at her creations. Now, the reindeer pattern is from a Half Yard Sewing Club in the UK, and these are just absolutely cute. I don't usually like stuffies for myself. I don't really like making them, but these are just too darn cute. And if I knew somebody that I could give those to, I would consider making them. But I really think they're lovely. And Elsie, you did a wonderful job of putting these together, and I love their little scarves as well. I don't know if that's your own take on this design or that was part of the pattern as well, but they are just so stinking cute. And of course, gnomes. I mean, you know me and gnomes. If you don't, where you been? I talk about gnomes all the time. These are from the AccuQuilt embroidery files. And yeah, I'm going to have to look for these. I have an AccuQuilt die that makes a gnome, but I have not seen these ones before. And I know that AccuQuilt does have some embroidery files, so I'm going to have to take a little bit of a closer look at that and see if I can find these particular ones, because I really love them. In fact, I wish I'd known about these for this year already, because even when I find them, I may not have time to make anything with them, but we'll see. But I love it. And I love the way you've done sort of meander quilting, free motion around each gnome to set them off. And this is just a really cute table runner. So thank you, Elsie, for sharing your really nice holiday makes with us. So, most of us probably know how to make simple tote bags, but maybe we don't. I assume that, but then I heard on the weekends with some of the guys, they have never made a bag before in their life. And at Christmas time, we're always looking for that little extra special gift to give to somebody. So Adam Sews just put up a video on how to make a quilted tote bag. And Adam is excellent when it comes to making bag creations. He makes wonderful bags. But he put this one up. It's a very simple bag, but it's a very nice bag for, using it instead of wrapping paper or one of those dollar store bags to put a gift into. It's kind of like two gifts in one because these are reusable bags for other things. They're a fast sew and they look great. So he's got a 10-minute video on how to put one together. So I have I have put the link to that in the show notes, and here's what I'm talking about. This week's video comes from Adam Sews, and I'm sure everyone is familiar with Adam's channel, and if you're not, you should check it out. Adam is in the UK, and he does marvelous projects. He makes bags that just, well, they're gorgeous. But here, I thought, is a really quick little sew-along that he shows you how to make a simple but elegant tote bag, which would be great for gifts at Christmas time, because you could make a lot of these in one day very quickly. So Adam takes you through it step by step. The video only runs 10 minutes. So really, you will know in no time at all how to do this if you've never made a tote bag before. So this is definitely a project great for beginners. So do check this video out if you're looking for something a little different, looking for a bag that you could possibly put Christmas gifts in, and then they have the bag afterwards, so it's recycle, reuse, which, that's sustainable quilting, I think. So check it out. It's on Adam Sew's channel, but I have the link for it in the show notes below. So that takes me to the future project, and this one is called No Diamonds in the Sky by Calico Carriage Quilt Designs. This is one that's been sitting in my pile of future projects for a while. I hope I will get to it in the new year. But in the meantime, here's what the pattern is all about. This week's future project is called No Diamonds in the Sky, and I've had this pattern for quite some time, but I have never got around to doing it. And I've noticed on the copy that I have that I had listed fairy dust as the fabric that I wanted to use. Well, I have a feeling I don't have much fairy dust left because I think I used it up in another project. Maybe. I'll have to check my stash on this when I get around to it. But I do love a star pattern for one thing, and this is a fairly, like a little bit of a twist on the star pattern. It is by designs by Debbie Maddie, and I'll put the link for this in the show notes below because it's also carried by a company, which might be her company, called Calico Carriage Quilt Designs. I have never done one of their patterns, so I don't know how difficult this might be. But it does look like it's probably made up of a lot of little pieces. Now, it does claim there are no Y seams, so that is a good thing because I hate doing Y seams. And it does tell you, when you go to the site, what you need for fabric. And so it looks like it has 4 or 5 colors of fabric, plus whatever you're going to use for border and binding and background as well. So it looks like a really interesting pattern, and I can't wait to work on it. So I am going to keep that in a new little file that I have called Future Patterns that I'm keeping out so that I will remember to check it for my next projects. So that's No Diamonds in the Sky. So that takes me to the Idiot Quilter Presents, and I do have an interview this week. It's with Miriam Ronne from Stitch Obsessed. She's the lady who put up the video that went viral about using Elmer's washable school glue for basting your quilt. One of my subscribers asked me if I'd seen that video. I had not, and they also suggested that this person might be good to interview. So I checked out her video and other videos she's made. She's a delightful person. She's got a great cat. Her cat is, so if you have not seen the video with the glue basting, do check it out because the cat is the star of that video. I can tell you that. But I reached out to Miriam and she kindly agreed to do an interview with me, and we had a wonderful time doing the interview. And I'm sure you'll be able to see that, and the interview is now up. There's a link for it in the show notes. Do check it out. And do check out Miriam's YouTube channel, Stitch Obsessed. And there's in the interview video, I have all her social contacts listed there as well. Okay, so that takes me to online quilt stores. And today's is, oh, I forgot. I was going to put in a teaser for Miriam. Here, let me put that in here
Oh,
now.
so I freelance write
Oh, okay.
for a quilting blog. So my whole life revolves around quilting at this point. So yeah,
So,
I started for them around when COVID started. I because no money was coming in from the custom quilts, so I got online and joined a freelancing site and quickly got that job, and I've been writing for them ever since.
okay, so that's this is just opening up all kinds of other questions I have for you. So, do you have like a is it just a natural writing talent, or did you have courses like a university degree or college or something in writing?
No. I was very good at grammar, the grammar side of things, all growing up through school. Um, and then I told the people when I was interviewing for the job, I told them I have no writing experience, but I know a lot about quilting because it's been my obsession for years. So they were like, okay, well, let's just try it and see. And I wrote a few trial blog posts for them, and they really liked it. They told me that I'm very good at like kind of conversational writing. So yeah, and I've been doing it since. They tell me I'm doing a good job. So
Okay, back on track. You know, I probably need more of this, or maybe I need less of it. What was I going to talk about next? Oh yeah, online quilt stores. Okay. Can you tell I don't edit? Yeah, maybe I should. Okay, online quilt stores. This one's called Country Concessions Quilt Shop. Um, I'm not sure if I've ever reviewed this one before or not. Now, I have a list of all the ones that I've reviewed. It wasn't on my list, but I didn't start that list until after I'd done a few of these, and maybe I missed it. And so I'm sorry if you've seen this before, but it's worth going back to and taking another look. So here's Country Concessions Quilt Shop. This week's quilt store is one that I don't think I have ever reviewed before. And if I have, well, they probably have some updates. This is called Country Concessions. It's in Innisfil, Ontario. And, well, let's just see what they've got to offer. Here's their front page. Looks like a very nice physical store on the inside, but we're here to review their online presence. Quilt sample sale. Cut goods are sold by the half meter, so that's good to know. Always check the first page of any website you go to of an online store to find out, things like this. So I know right up front that they sell, so their prices will be by the half meter. They have the new Tula line, Tula Pink line, Beasties. Right there, they're featuring that. They have some other flannels are featuring by Northcott. They've got Christmas and Winter, of course. They have some Indigenous collections. These are ones I have not seen before. And featured collections. So they've got a nice overview of all the things you're going to find inside their page. Patterns and books as well, and the departments are all listed here. So let's pop up to the top and let's go to shop and let's do cotton fabric. They do have flannel, batik, and linen. Things looking very well organized. Yes, the page is well organized because they have that left bar, which I love, where I can select things by theme, color, brand, whatever I want. But let's just take a look at their prices. And remember, this is all by the half meter. Again, another thing I like, they're a Canadian store, so they're selling by the meter, not by the yard. And actually, it looks like their prices range from about $20 to $24 a meter. That is on the higher side. But they do seem to have a really good selection. And let's see, what did it say? How many It doesn't tell us here how many that they have. Oh, yes, it does. Over almost 3,000 types of fabric, or brands of fabric. Not brands, you know what I mean. Fabric, period. So that means they've got a really good selection. What else? Wide backs, 58 to 120. Let's take a look at cotton wide backs. The price, so it's $15 a half meter, so it's $30 a meter. And well, some are a little lower. Some have been marked down to $11.25 a half, so that's $22.50 a meter, which isn't bad. But most of them look like they're in the $30 range, which is, yeah, pretty much average for wide back. And they seem to have a good selection of wide backs as well. So what did they show? Yeah, the 87 products in wide back. So that's a good selection. So let's look at pre-cuts, fat quarter bundles. They have 33 to choose from. Cafe Mystery Fat Quarter. And prices are basically what you would expect here too. So, you know, they're in the ballpark on pricing. They're kind of in the middle of being too high and too low, if you know what I mean by that. Okay, so not a bad selection of pre-cuts. What else do they have in their shopping? 3-meter bundles, jelly rolls, layer cakes, charms, mini charms. Let's check out the jelly rolls. They have only about 12. Oops, how did I get there? That's not where I want it to be. Okay, heavy fingers on my magic mouse. It's back to jelly rolls. Okay, $67.99. Oh, that's sold out. They don't have many to choose from. They've got a lot of products that are sold out and only one unit left. So not too impressed here with their selection in jelly rolls. Price-wise, what they were selling them for, on the upper side, a little bit more expensive. Although they are designers, like the Beasties by Tula Pink and the K Facet ones. So you do expect to pay a little bit more for those names. Okay, what else do we have? We have kits. So let's take a look at quilt kits. They have 30. Again, they are sold out of a lot of things on this site. I don't know how fast they restock. It doesn't really matter in the kits, though, because none of these are grabbing me. Yeah. But maybe something will grab you, but it looks like they're restocking a lot of these. Okay, kits, panels, they have panels, batting and stabilizer. Well, let's check out their prices on batting. Batting, they sell okay, it's $195. That is a 15-yard roll. Okay, so that's about $400 for a roll. That's more than I pay at Kawartha Quilting, so they are a little pricey. Most of it is all pre-packaged. Yeah, so no real deals here when it comes to the prices on their batting. And they have stabilizers and things like that as well. Patterns and books. Well, let's see. Quilts, patterns, 131 to choose from. Okay, standard pricing, of course, on patterns. I don't think a shop really has a lot of leeway on what they charge for a pattern. I think that is established for them by the supplier. Yeah, well, they have patterns. Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Notions and gifts. Well, they have the usual. And thread. Okay, let's check out their price on Aurifil. Big cones, $79.99. I don't usually buy Aurifil in that size of cone. This is what I usually buy, $18.99. Yep, that's the going price right now for Aurifil thread. And they seem to have a good selection of Aurifil as well. So what else do they have? Christmas. Let's see what's under Christmas. So yes, lots of things under Christmas. How many products do they show here? 3 329 products. So if you're doing some Christmas shopping for fabrics, and it's all listed here on the type by on the side by type. So that's good. Markdowns, sale fabric, sale paddles and pre-cuts, sale patterns and kits, sale notions, quilt samples. Okay, sale fabric. So they're selling it at about $10 a meter, and $10, $13 a meter, $9. Prices vary, and all of it, in my opinion, is pretty ugly. Now, if you're into sports type of things, looks like hockey, then this might be good for you. Some airplanes, yeah, none of it is grabbing my yanking my chain, let's just say. I got waylaid squirrel. I'm looking at the planes one, but you know, they seem to be a lot of novelty fabrics is what they have on sale. Okay, Quilt Club. What is the Quilt Club? They have a video about it. Participate in a quilt project from September to August, 12 months. Collect one block pattern each month. So celebrate each other's accomplishments. Show. Okay, so it's sort of like a block of the month kind of thing. Okay, and what did they charge for that? They're not telling you. Okay, I do not see. Oh, here they are here. Okay. Choose in person. Registration's $20. There's time slots, how this works. So it's a pattern that you're getting. And 20% off featured products. And they have a virtual as well as an in-person. Okay. So it's $20 to register. Different timelines. $25% off the fabric in store. Okay, I guess you're probably purchasing the patterns separately. $20 to register, and then you go in and you pick the pattern or whatever. Okay, well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time reading through all of this and figuring it out, but there you go. If you're interested in another type of club, this might be something to check out. Classes. Oops. Okay, let's see what they're offering. November. Well, November's over, but just see the variety. Quilts of Valor, Chickadee Backpack, Beginner's Quilting, Festive Stockings. Okay, Binding Your Quilt, Wood Carrier, Machine Embroidery Club. Well, that'd be fun. Yeah, it looks like they have several classes, and you could check it out if you're interested as far as what the price is. Okay, let's find out what their shipping is. Placing an order, shipping and pickup. Okay, where do you ship? What shipping? Okay, where do they ship? Within Canada and the United States. Which shipping carrier they use? Probably Canada Post. Yes, they do. How much does it cost? Within Canada, free shipping on orders over $149.99. $15.99 flat fee on orders under $149.99. In the United States, it's $25 Canadian per order. That's not too bad at all. But I like the fact they have free shipping for over $150. So that's good. Okay, so yeah, that's Quilt Concessions, or Country Concessions Quilt Shop, sorry, and I think it's worth checking out their online store. Okay, so what's coming up? I don't know. Well, I've already told you. Sewing with Stephanie and Steven on Wednesday. Pop-up Sew Day on Saturday. Okay, there's all of that, right? What am I up to? Well, more stuff. I'm going to get started on a new project that came out of that Missouri Star quilt box, as I already said. And what else? Well, you know that I'm heading towards 10,000 subscribers. Thank you, all of you new subscribers, and my established subscribers as well. Notice I didn't say old subscribers. I said established subscribers. Um, you make my week. Okay, your comments make my week. I like it when you ask me questions. I try to answer the questions that I feel justify an answer. Um, I like to share the comments with you, during Stephen and Walter Live. That's when we usually do it. Because there's some really good stuff there that you guys put out. And if you're not someone who reads the comments on videos, you really should at least scan through them, because there are tidbits of information there that you will find valuable, I am sure. But anyways, back to the whole thing about subscriptions. So I'm just over 9,700 subscribers, which is great. It only took me 11 and a half years to get here. But anyways, I have set a goal, personal goal of, getting to 10,000 at some point. I was hoping by the end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen, and that's okay. But when I do get to 10,000, I am going to plan a very special, probably a very special pop-up sew day. I'm not going to tell you why it's going to be special, because I want it to be a bit more of a surprise. But there will be something. There's going to be something, okay? Actually, I'm not sure what it is. I'm just trying to fake it here. No, not really. I do have an idea. So, anyways, if you've got some friends who you think my videos might be of interest to, let them know. And also, I'd like you to go, if you're not doing this already, I'd like you to support my friends with their YouTube channels, because they have some goals too. Shannon of Slay Arts and Russ of Quilt Meets World are both trying to get to 1,000 viewers before the end of this year. So go to their YouTube channels, check them out, and subscribe. And my very good friend Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches, she's heading for the big time. She's getting very close to 20,000 subscribers. Wow. That just boggles my mind, that I know somebody that's that close to 20,000. I am not worthy. I am not worthy. And Stephanie deserves every one of her subscribers. So she works hard for the money, so to speak. Hello, channeling my inner Donna Summers. But anyways, it's great if you can support us this way, because according to the analytics on there, less than 50% of people that view my videos are actually subscribed. Actually, it's 50.1% of viewers are subscribed. What's wrong with the other 48.7 or whatever it works out to be? Math's not my strength. Why aren't you subscribed? Really, it costs you nothing, and it definitely does help us out. These are words coming out of my mouth that I never thought I would say. But I'm saying them now, okay? And I'm especially saying them not so much for my sake, but for my friends. I would love to see my friends hit their goals before the end of the year. That would be exciting for them, and I would find it exciting too, as well. So, I'm rambling now, and I'm going to stop rambling. I hope you have a good week. I hope to see some of you on the pop-up sew day, those of you that can attend, and maybe some of you I will be seeing too on Sewing with Stephanie and Steven tomorrow. So, yeah, busy week. Have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye.